If you're over 60, these 5 subtle signs could be your body's early warnings of serious disease. Ignore them, and you may miss the chance to act before things get worse. Today on mtwisdom, we're uncovering 5 powerful early warning signs of common diseases in older adults. And no, this isn't about fear, it's about being aware, staying independent, and living fully. Stay with me, because recognizing these signs early could literally change the course of your health. Sign 1. Frequent urination or incontinence. Let's start with something many people feel embarrassed to talk about. Are you rushing to the bathroom more often, especially at night, or leaking a little when you laugh or sneeze? This might seem minor, but it could be a sign of something bigger: an overactive bladder, prostate enlargement, urinary tract infection, or even type 2 diabetes. And in some cases, it might be related to weakened pelvic floor muscles, especially common after age 60. For men, frequent urination could point to benign prostatic hyperplasia, an enlarged prostate that presses on the bladder. For women, especially those who've given birth or gone through menopause, it may be linked to weakened pelvic support. And for both, an overactive bladder or changes in bladder elasticity can increase the urge to go. Incontinence, especially stress incontinence, leaking during coughing, laughing, or lifting, can be frustrating. But here's the truth: this isn't just a normal part of aging you should accept quietly. It's a treatable symptom with real solutions. John, my 68-year-old neighbor in Chicago, began waking up 3 times a night just to use the bathroom. He blamed it on aging, but the exhaustion was real. His sleep suffered, his mood dipped, and daytime energy was gone. Once he cut out his nightly beer and started Kegel exercises to strengthen his pelvic floor, everything changed. Now, he's down to 1 bathroom trip a night and says it's like getting his life and rest back. Frequent urination also ties into type 2 diabetes, where high blood sugar levels lead to excessive urination. That's why this isn't something to ignore. It could be your body's way of flagging deeper metabolic or hormonal imbalances. And let's not forget the emotional toll. The anxiety of needing a restroom nearby at all times can keep many older adults from enjoying walks, outings, or even social gatherings. It can silently steal independence and dignity, but it doesn't have to. The good news is, there are several simple changes you can make starting today that may significantly ease these symptoms and even improve your quality of life. For example, reducing bladder irritants like caffeine and alcohol, especially in the evening, can lower the urge to go. Instead of drinking large amounts of fluid at once, try sipping water steadily throughout the day to stay hydrated without overwhelming your bladder. You can also take back control through targeted movement. Strengthening your pelvic floor muscles with daily Kegel exercises has been shown to improve bladder control. This isn't just advice for women, men benefit too. Keeping track of your habits helps as well. A bladder diary may reveal patterns tied to what you drink when you drink it, or certain triggers throughout your day. And most importantly, don't hesitate to speak with your doctor. Whether it's a medication adjustment, physical therapy, or just guidance on what to try next, support is out there and it works. Simple medications or physical therapy can make a big difference. If this information helped you feel seen or supported, please take a second to like this video. It tells us you're finding value and helps us reach more people who need to hear this too. Sign 2. Memory decline or forgetfulness. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? It happens to everyone now and then. But if you're frequently forgetting names, misplacing everyday items, or feeling mentally foggy more often than before, it may be time to pay closer attention. These could be early signs of cognitive decline, and in some cases, the early stages of dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. As we get older, it's expected that our brains may take a little longer to process things, but there's a fine line between natural slowing and something more serious. Forgetting a name and remembering it a few minutes later is one thing. But if you find yourself repeating questions, missing appointments, or struggling to follow conversations, that could be your brain signaling for help. This is exactly what happened to my Aunt Maria, who lives near Lisbon. For years, she was the sharpest person in the room, quick-witted and always on top of her routines. But then, she began forgetting familiar names and losing track of what she was saying mid-sentence. It wasn't alarming at first, just small slips, but they added up. She grew frustrated and at times withdrawn. Rather than ignore it, Maria made a few meaningful changes. She began starting her day with Sudoku and limited her screen time in the evenings to get more restful sleep. She joined a local reading club, which gave her a regular outlet for conversation and mental engagement. Over time, we all saw the difference. Not only was she more present and engaged, but she also felt empowered again. If you're starting to notice signs like this, the most important thing is to take action gently and consistently. Improving memory and attention doesn't require drastic measures. It can begin with something as simple as prioritizing 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. When you sleep well, your brain clears waste proteins, resets neural connections, and consolidates memory. Nourishing your brain is just as essential. Eating foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, sardines, walnuts, or flax has been shown to support brain cell function. And staying mentally active doesn't mean you need to do anything dramatic. Reading the newspaper, challenging yourself with a brain game, or even learning a new recipe can offer excellent stimulation. Equally important is maintaining human connection. Talking regularly with others through a phone call, coffee outing, or community group keeps your mind alert and your emotions grounded. Social interaction isn't just pleasant, it's protective. Memory loss can be scary, but with the right care and attention, you can slow the process and stay sharp longer. Small efforts repeated daily build the habits that protect both your mind and your independence. If this part helped you better understand what to watch for, give the video a like. It helps us reach more seniors and caregivers who need this support too. Sign 3. Joint pain or morning stiffness. Do your knees feel like rusted hinges in the morning? Is climbing stairs starting to feel like a mountain hike instead of just a few steps? You're not alone, and more importantly, you're not imagining it. Joint pain and stiffness, especially first thing in the morning, are among the most common complaints in older adults. While some assume this is just what happens with age, the truth is, there's often a very specific and treatable cause behind it: osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is the wear and tear type of arthritis. Over the years, the protective cartilage that cushions your joints gradually breaks down. When that happens, bones begin to rub against each other. This causes inflammation, swelling, stiffness, and eventually pain. For many people over 60, the symptoms are most noticeable after periods of rest, like after sleeping or sitting for too long. That's why mornings can feel the toughest. Joints tighten overnight, and when you first start to move, it's like your body needs a warm-up lap just to get going. And it's not just knees. Hips, fingers, lower back, and even shoulders can all be affected. For some, the pain is dull but constant. For others, it flares with certain movements, like bending, twisting, or getting up from a chair. I think of Tom, a 70-year-old retired teacher in Texas. He used to groan every time he stood up. He'd wince during the first few steps in the morning and hold the railing tightly going upstairs. At first, he tried to rest more, thinking less movement might help the pain. But it actually made things worse. Then he heard something from his physical therapist that changed everything. Motion is lotion. He started swimming twice a week at the local Young Men's Christian Association. Low impact but full body movement. After a few weeks, not only did his stiffness ease, but his mood lifted. He could walk longer, play with his grandkids, and even dance a little at his niece's wedding. He still had arthritis, but it no longer controlled his life. So what's really happening when we stay still too long? The body produces synovial fluid, a natural lubricant for your joints. But this fluid needs movement to circulate properly. Without it, joints become less flexible and more painful. That's why even short walks, stretches, or gentle range of motion exercises can bring relief. You don't need to run marathons, but daily movement is essential. A 15-minute walk in the morning, light stretching in the evening, or even gentle chair yoga can keep your joints limber and reduce inflammation. And beyond movement, your daily habits play a role too. Using heat pads or taking a warm bath in the morning can help relax muscles and increase circulation to stiff joints. Wearing supportive shoes, especially ones with proper cushioning and arch support, can make walking less jarring on your knees and hips. Avoid old, worn-out sneakers. They may be silently contributing to your pain. If pain persists despite these efforts, it's worth speaking with a doctor. They might suggest physical therapy, supplements like glucosamine or turmeric, or even tailored low-dose medications to reduce inflammation. What matters most is not just masking the pain, but preserving mobility and preventing joint deterioration over time. Because when joint pain goes unchecked, it doesn't just slow your body, it shrinks your world. People stop walking, stop traveling, stop engaging. But the opposite is also true. The more you move, the more freedom you preserve. So the next time you feel those stiff knees or aching hips, try moving gently, rather than retreating into stillness. Your joints may just thank you for it. Sign 4. Constant fatigue or lack of energy. If you're getting a full night's sleep but still wake up tired, or if you find yourself dragging through the day with no spark, it's not just normal aging. It's also not laziness. Constant fatigue, especially after 60, could be your body's quiet signal that something deeper is going on. Many older adults assume that low energy is simply part of getting older. But persistent exhaustion, where even small tasks like folding laundry or walking to the mailbox feel like too much, is usually a symptom, not a condition in itself. And it deserves attention. Fatigue can stem from a number of health issues, some of them very treatable. One of the most common culprits is anemia, a condition where your body doesn't produce enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen to your tissues. Without adequate oxygen, everything feels harder: movement, thinking, even conversation. Anemia often results from low iron levels, but it can also be linked to chronic inflammation or underlying diseases that affect nutrient absorption. Paul, a 73-year-old in Manchester, found himself nodding off in the middle of the day and skipping the gardening he used to love. His family was concerned. After some blood tests, his doctor found that Paul had iron deficiency anemia. With a few dietary adjustments, adding spinach, beans, and a simple supplement, Paul was back outside each morning, tending to his roses and feeling like himself again. Another major source of fatigue in older adults is heart disease. If your heart isn't pumping efficiently, your muscles and brain don't receive the oxygen-rich blood they need. This can leave you feeling tired, short of breath, or heavy-limbed even after minimal activity. Fatigue is often one of the first signs of heart trouble, showing up long before chest pain or more obvious symptoms. Depression is another silent cause. It doesn't always look like sadness. In older adults, it often shows up as low motivation, lack of enjoyment, and constant tiredness. If you've lost interest in things you used to enjoy and everything feels like a chore, depression could be part of the picture. Fatigue can also be the result of poor diet, dehydration, thyroid issues, or side effects from medications. That's why it's so important not to brush it off. If you're tired all the time, even when you're sleeping enough, don't ignore it. So what can you do? One of the most effective ways to start improving your energy is to look at your plate. A balanced diet rich in protein, leafy greens, healthy fats, and whole grains can help stabilize blood sugar, boost iron levels, and fuel your day. Small snacks like almonds, yogurt, or hard-boiled eggs can keep your energy steady without spikes and crashes. Natural sunlight also plays a big role. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day outdoors helps regulate your circadian rhythm and boosts vitamin D levels, both of which are critical for mood and energy. And while it may seem counterintuitive, moving your body gently can actually help. A short, brisk walk, even around the block, can get your blood flowing and give you a natural lift. Start small. Even 5 minutes of movement can reset your system and boost your alertness. Fatigue may feel invisible, but its impact is real. It can quietly shrink your world, making you say no to activities, decline social invites, or miss out on moments of joy. But the good news is, with a few intentional shifts in how you eat, move, and rest, many people regain their energy and reclaim their days. Sign 5. Vision or hearing problems. Have you started turning the TV volume up more than usual? Or maybe you're finding it harder to read menus in dim restaurants, or asking people to repeat themselves more often. It's easy to shrug these things off and think, well, I'm just getting older. But here's the truth. Vision and hearing changes aren't just nuisances, they could be early signs of serious but treatable conditions. Blurry vision isn't always due to needing stronger reading glasses. It could be the result of cataracts, which cause clouding in the lens of the eye. Cataracts develop gradually, and many people don't realize how much their vision has declined until it's noticeably affecting their daily life, like struggling to drive at night or feeling nervous going downstairs. Other eye conditions like glaucoma and macular degeneration are even more dangerous because they can creep in silently. Glaucoma often damages peripheral vision first, while macular degeneration affects central vision, making it difficult to read, recognize faces, or watch TV. The scary part? You may not feel pain or notice symptoms until permanent damage has already occurred. Hearing loss works much the same way. Most adults don't lose hearing overnight. Instead, it starts subtly, missing the end of sentences, misunderstanding words, or finding group conversations exhausting. And since the brain adapts over time, many people don't even realize they're not hearing as well as they used to. That's what happened to Elena, my grandmother in Barcelona. For months, we noticed her turning the TV louder, interrupting conversations, and laughing at the wrong time. She didn't mean to isolate herself, she simply wasn't hearing well enough to follow what was going on. Eventually, she agreed to see a hearing specialist. It turned out she had moderate hearing loss. With a small, discreet hearing aid, the change was immediate. She was back at the market, chatting easily with friends, and back to feeling like herself again. Hearing and vision problems affect more than just convenience. They impact safety, confidence, and social connection. When someone struggles to see or hear, they often begin avoiding social events, withdrawing from conversations, or hesitating to leave the house. This can lead to feelings of frustration, loneliness, and even depression. The encouraging part is that most of these issues don't need to go unchecked. You can begin by scheduling a simple annual screening for both hearing and vision, something many seniors don't realize is often covered by Medicare or local senior programs. Just getting clarity on your condition can open the door to easy solutions. Whether that's a new pair of prescription glasses or a barely visible hearing aid that restores the flow of everyday conversation. And beyond the checkups, a few small changes in your daily habits can go a long way. Make sure your home is well lit to reduce fall risk. When having conversations, minimize background noise to help your ears focus. And if you're watching television, try turning on subtitles. It's not a sign of decline, but a smart way to stay fully engaged. Let's take a quiet moment to reflect. Whether it's needing the bathroom more often, forgetting familiar names, waking up stiff, feeling drained all day, or struggling to see or hear clearly, these aren't just signs of aging. They're your body's way of whispering that something needs your care. But here's the hopeful part. Each of these signs is also a doorway, a chance to make a change, sometimes small but powerful. The kind of change that helps you move with more ease, think with more clarity, and feel more in control of your own story. Because when you understand what's happening inside your body, you don't just feel informed, you feel empowered. Knowledge is power, but action, that's where freedom lies. If something in today's video resonated with you, take a moment to notice it. Which sign stood out the most? Which one felt personal? I invite you to share the number in the comments below. It helps others feel less alone, and it tells us you're still with us. And if this video gave you something helpful, even just one insight, please consider tapping that like button. It helps more people discover this message. You can also subscribe to mtwisdom, where we share real, science-backed guidance for living well after 60, always in a warm, hopeful tone that honors your experience. And if someone you care about could use this information, a parent, a spouse, a friend, send this their way. A small share could make a big difference. Don't wait until it gets harder. Start small. Start today. Your future self will thank you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay wise, stay well.